Alright, and we are back. We are getting into game 2 here. And this is going to be Destro versus Clueless game 2. We'll see how they manage to do with this.
Now, first pick generally affects picks and bans in a very interesting way. Generally, purple team always has to burn a ban on Maokai and on Zyra, but we see that blue team is opting to just make sure that Zyra is not in the game, and I feel like that's doing a favor to Clueless.
Yeah, Clueless is very good at playing everything. So, they have the ability to kind of pick different champions that are not at the top tier and can still do incredibly well with them. Even though their first pick right now, they banned out the Zyra, I don't know if that's the wisest choice because they could have left her open and then just picked her themselves. And it looks like they're going to ban out the Morgana because Morgana was being such a pain last game.
I'm very curious to see what they first pick with all the picks like Jarvan and Leona and Vi still left in the pool. I feel like they either need to get 3 good champions in this draft, or because Clueless are definitely going to get 2 good champions.
Yeah, this first pick is going to be very, very important. Oh, picking up the Wukong.
Wukong is generally a very scary champion in the first pick because there are things in the draft like Janna which absolutely hard counter him.
Yeah, he's not going to be able to go in or do anything. Moo Cow is also on the table, and we all know Parkhurst loves to play that Moo Cow. So as soon as he tries to come in, he just gets headbutted right out, and if he buffers that ultimate, he's going to cast it, and he's going to be whirlwinding outside of the team.
Alistar, a very strong champion. He was played a lot in Dominion before, and then his recent buffs has just made him have a very, very big resurgence into the scene. He's probably second to Maokai under the current tanks.
Yeah, Moo Cow buffs were incredibly strong. I knew a lot of people were saying, oh man, why is everyone playing the cow? And he's so strong now. His recent buffs did help him out a lot. He's always been a really decent pick on Dominion in terms of tanks. He's just been outshined a little bit by some of the other tanks. Now that those buffs have come along, incredibly good. And it looks like Clueless is going to pick up the Jarvan Brand combo, which is going to be very scary coming from them.
It's very interesting seeing Clueless basically take the picks that Destro had previously and say, we're going to do better with them. Because that's pretty much their draft so far. They've just traded champions, and we're going to see what comes up in place of Morgana and Kha'Zix soon enough.
Alright, well, Destro does have the option to pick 2 really strong champions right now. Vi is on the table, as well as Leona still, so they do have those champions that they can pick up if they want.
I'll be very surprised if Vi is omitted from another draft, as she's probably the bruiser ranked on the same level of Jarvan and Wukong, if not slightly higher.
Yeah, Vi does have the ability to shut down those ganks bot lane. She is incredibly strong in the 1v1. So if you run into a Vi and you're trying to gank bot, chances are you're going to end up dying, and then he's going to 2v1 your bot lane. It's not a lot of fun.
You see Ahri+Rammus lock in. Rammus is a champion that we don't get to see too often, but he is around the same tier as Leona. He does substantially more damage than her, but only has that single target lockdown that you really have to capitalize off of. And they also lock in Ahri to go with it. So they have a nice little chain CC with puncturing taunt into charm to be able to set up picks off. And they have very, very highly mobile champions to move about the jungle with.
Yeah, Jarvan trying to get that EQ combo, or Brand trying to land a stun, is going to be a little bit more difficult with that Ahri bouncing around, or that Wukong decoying out and using his decoy as a shield, essentially. So we'll see how Clueless decides to react. Are we going to continue the train of let's pick the champions that you just used against us? Brown Bruiser opting for that Darius or Pantheon?
I would much rather see a Pantheon pick, as even though Wukong is an auto attacker, he relies heavily for a substantial amount of the team fight on his Cyclone for damage, and Pantheon or Vi can tank it and deal out more damage than a Darius will be able to do.
And Parker's looking to be picking up that pig. Yeah, we do have the Vi pickup, so as soon as the Ahri or the Wukong try to start being evasive, getting around, Vi's just going to say, nah, ain't having none of that. Throw that ult out. So Parker's picking up the pig. Sedge, on a bit of the lower end of the tanks, and even then, that's not a very low end. still an incredibly decent tank pick. There's some tanks that do what she does better, but she does have the massive slows to try and keep them locked in place.
Sedge is very strong when you... Sedge has an incredibly good amount of synergy with Jarvan's Cataclysm. The other thing that Sedge does is with her slows, it allows Vi to stick to her targets much easily than she would be able to do off of a stun. Off of a stun, she can get a very good momentarily good trade, but because Sedge is the tank instead of something like Alistar, she'll be able to stick to the targets and just focus them down the entire time. It also allows Brand to hit his skill shots a lot more easily.
Yeah, it's really going to set the entire team up for quite an amazing wombo. You have the Sedge ulting in from the distance, locking down the team, the Jarvan jumping in with the Cataclysm, and that Brand throwing out the Pyroclasm and Pillar of Flame. It's just going to be a lot of damage coming through. And Wukong, again, highlighting the Gnar, but Gnar is unfortunately disabled for this tournament because he is brand new. I'm so sad. I wanted to see a Gnar. I was very, very excited to see. Ah, man. He's just so adorable.
I was really hoping to see a Gnar to just know if other teams are going to treat him like every other Yordle in the game and absolutely destroy him.
Woofer bringing out the Skarner bot lane. Actually, not a bad matchup against the Nocturne. He's got the shield, he's got the slows. Nocturne is a very all-in style champion, so if he tries to do that all-in and discovers that he's not going to win it, he's going to end up dying. Woofer is going to be able to chase him all the way to the ends of the earth. Oh, and actually switching to Irelia at the last second.
Irelia is a champion that I used to play against Woofer when we practiced bot lane matchups back in the day. Irelia is a champion that, for the most part, beats and or 50-50s against Nocturnes at all point in the game. Equilibrium Strike is very strong, but so is Fear, but because of the CC reduction in Irelia's true damage and Nocturne's naturally low base health, generally she'll just pull out the win in that matchup along with her naturally building crit. However, we do see Doublelift going with heal in this matchup, which I think is very, very important. Heal is better than Barrier. There is a summoner meta game in the bottom lane, and what generally happens is Ignite beats Heal, and Heal beats Barrier, and Heal beats Exhaust. So right now, Doublelift has won the Summoner War because Heal is going to provide more health than Woofer, and Woofer would have needed to run Ignite Exhaust, which is very, very all-in, and you tend to not want to run that in the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing down in the bottom lane on Dominion because it's that 1v1 matchup, and you need to be getting kills and applying pressure and taking away those revives from your opponent. And if you can do that in the beginning of the game with your summoners up, that's great. But at the same time, if your opponent, say you bring heal, your opponent has Ignite and gets a good burst on you, pops the Ignite when you're at low health, you're pretty much stuck there waiting until you die because that heal is going to be almost worthless with the Grievous Wounds on. Now, if you had brought Barrier along instead, it would have beaten out the Ignite, you would have been okay, probably could have won the trade and won. So it's a very back and forth. You kind of need to look at their champion and think, what are they going to bring on that? And it's almost like a rock, paper, scissors-esque style of summoner bot laning.
The other thing I really wanted to note is that Clueless' team has an incredible amount of percent health damage and armor pen. I really like the Jarvan and the Vi pickup just because of denting blows and Jarvan's armor shred on his Q. And it's going to be able to bring that Rammus' armor down by a good 50%, and he's going to die a lot faster than he would with other champions.
Yeah, the big thing with Rammus is once he gets that little bit of armor, it gets really, really scary, especially with that defensive ball curl up. He has so much extra armor piled onto him that you really just need to try to hard focus him down. So with all the extra armor shred on the team, it's going to be really good. I'm going to be looking to see if Parkhurst is going to go a bit tankier, or maybe even pick up a Black Cleaver. So that would be really, really strong.
Now, it's very important to note that Destro picked a very, very all-in triple melee comp with an Ahri in the backline, and they really need picks because they cannot at any point in the game fight a team fight where they don't immediately kill a target. They're going to get caught in Jarvan ult, they're going to get caught in Glacial Prison, and the Brand ult's just going to come over the top as 3 melee, and they're just going to get completely and utterly AoE'd down. They're going to be really, really trying, or I hope they're going to be really trying to get a lot of picks off of Charm, off of Puncturing Taunt in the jungle, and follow it up with a Pantheon stun and his ability to crit targets under 50% HP, and use Nocturne ult in the jungle in the mid-game like Woofer does previously, where he just comes up to team fights and you don't really know when he's going to be there, and they're able to snowball and get a very early level advantage in this game in order to close it out.
We will see if we end up going to Game 3 or not. If Destro can manage a win, which it is going to be a little difficult with this comp, as you just explained, but if they can manage it, we will see the Game 3. If not, Clueless will be advancing on to the finals. It's going to be a very interesting game.
The other thing to know that Destro has that Clueless doesn't have is they have a lot faster champions, and they are running double global.
They are running the double global. That Pantheon ult and Nocturne ult could be very, very scary. If they were to die, say, in a skirmish, and then revive at the same time, they could ult back into that fight with relative ease, and then turn it around.
It's also very easy to follow up a Pantheon stun or a Nocturne Fear in the bottom lane for ganks. So I really, really fear for bottom lane because Rammus is a known person to go down there with his power ball and hit speed trying to just ruin your day. So I really like the Irelia pick from Ro4 just because the CC reduction is much higher on Irelia than it is on Skarner, and he'll be able to dash around to the minions and maybe avoid dying in some of those ganks where Skarner would have just gotten run over.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit more difficult for the Skarner to get out. I've seen Ro4 Skarner survive 2v1s before, but in tournament level play, those are very, very rare. The other good thing, actually, about Doublelift having the heal with him is I know it's a little bit weaker when it comes to self-heal now. They did put through some nerfs, but if someone's going to be ganking a lot for him, like the Pantheon, who's an excellent ganker, or even the Rammus, if they have to end up having an extended fight, he has that heal, he can pop it on both of them, and there are no ignites on Clueless, so that is always going to be a guaranteed full heal.
Heal is also very important because Vi is known to be the person who comes in the bottom lane to gank whenever she's on the team. So in those 2v2s, if you bring a Pantheon, which is generally known as a champion that will beat Vi in a 1v1, one of the few bruisers that can definitively normally win that matchup, it's going to be very, very useful to be able to heal him whenever it comes to those 2v2s.
Indeed. Alright, so we are in this game here. Let's get this rockin'.
If you'd like to play with me, you'd better be sure you know the game.
So it is going to be Destro versus Clueless. Clueless is currently up 1 game. And if they win this one, we will be going to our finals.
We do see Ro4 opting to start with 3-pot cloth again, along with his Prospector's Blade instead of going for boots. The interesting thing here is that Parkhurst is also going to omit going for boots in favor of a longsword because he knows that more than likely the Rammus is going to initiate onto him, so he doesn't need boots in order to get a very good Jarvan standard combo. So he's not going to need the boots in order to position himself properly for it, and he can opt to get the extra damage.
So very nicely done picking up that longsword. Looks like Rammus is going for the Kindled Gem. And Ro4 again starting with that cloth armor. The much better start, I would say, against a Nocturne rather than a Jax. But we'll see how it goes. Nocturne opting for the boots. Going to try to stick to Irelia if she tries to get away there.
If you'd like to play with
And let's see how this goes.
We are underway with Game 2 of Clueless versus Destro. We have Doublelift, Stormfall, and Cercio Gander and Dens Bruja versus
Haith, Baby Pop, Parkhurst, Brown Bruiser, and Ro4.
Blue team has captured the refinery.
We have Parkhurst opting to throw his standard in the brush to make sure there was no cheese coming out with them coming around the mid brush.
Red team has captured
Very
the
nicely done there.
Red team has captured the bone.
And the poke war is going to begin. Let's see how they manage to handle it.
We have just a couple little pokes going on between Ro4 and Brown Bruiser in the bottom. We have Bebepop, who is very, very aggressive on the Stormfall, and Sejuani is very squishy in the early game, but we have Parkhurst coming in with a beautiful EQ combo on the 3 members of Destro, and Cercio is going to be the first one to fall with the damage being traded very well between the members of Clueless. Brown Bruiser with a beautiful flash over the wall, so he's going to leave them. Bruiser is going to go down from Bebepop coming from the side, and Gander is going to get turned upon by all 4 members. But he is going to also flash the wall, so it only looks like it's going to be 2 for 0, and we see Ro4 and Doublelift just trading in the bot lane as Stormfall is being over aggressive and is going to go down, making it a 3 for 0.
That is going to be a 3 for 0. Storm trying to get back into that fight. Not the best. I think one of the bigger turning points of that fight was Parkhurst landed a beautiful 3-man EQ towards the beginning of the fight there, and that really, really set them off, that armor shred coming across. There wasn't too much damage to follow up on it, but I think that kind of disoriented them quite a bit there.
The armor spread in the CC is very, very important to note in the early game because even the mages and Sejuani do a substantial amount of physical damage with their auto attacks. And we see Cercio coming in on the Brown Bruiser, but Parker with another two-man standard combo. Cercio trying to scud around the edge of the fight and focus Brown Bruiser. And we see Clueless focusing Gander. It's not generally wise to focus the tank, but we see Hayfart is going to come around the corner and it's going to hit a beautiful three-man pillar and clean up the rest of that fight.
Very nicely done. They were able to finish that up. You know, I have to say, the one thing I really dislike about playing Rammus is when you're going against a Vi and you taunt her. I know taunt reduces their damage, but at the same time, Vi's denting blows can hurt quite a bit. So you have to be very careful as that Rammus taunting the Vi, because if she does have the stacks on you already or applies denting blows, that might put you a little too low from where you're comfortable at trying to tank stuff.
I agree. Denting blows does far too much damage, and even procs while she's wailing on you and taunted.
Yeah.
We did see a very, very nice rotation that managed to pick up a double lift in the bottom lane. We have a Parkers coming over on Cercio. Cercio's just going to get blown up. Vi is going to throw her ult on the Dens Bruja, who is trying to get away at the edge of the fight, but doesn't look like he's going to be able to go down. Bibblepop with a flash and is going to whip it, but it doesn't matter in the end. Gander is going to find himself in the middle of four people as Haste dances around with Stormfallen, who failed to assassinate him in the backline.
Oh, very nice EQ by Parkhurst. That was around the wall, landing right on her, and that is going to be one dead Fox.
The Jarvan combos have been very much so on point, as we see Double Lift is going to pop his ult on Wukong in the bottom lane, but, you know, Irelia is just going to casually walk away.
Yep, got that Equilibrium Strike, just keep chilling. Walking right back to the tower where it's safe. Gonna grab that health relic probably.
Blue team has captured the quad.
Where's the... Okay, stop him. Capture the health relic. There you go. Very nice. Oh, but we do have the nerd train coming bot here for Destro.
We do have Cercio wanting to make a play because he didn't have his Cyclone up previously because he just died. So now that he wants to use it and hope that Clueless members respond to this three-man gank in the bottom lane, but Dens is going to lose a lot of life fighting Ro4. We have Gander making the rotation, stopping Brown Bruiser from interrupting the flank cap, but they're not going to opt the cap because they want the kills. Dens is going to jump on the Bibblepop. Ro4 is going to blow his revive and pick up Dens, and you have Gander is going to blow his elbow. Parker's again with a two-man standard combo. He's just doing his job this game to the best of his abilities. And it looks like Brown Bruiser is going to be able to get away. Going to even rudely recall as Ro4 gets a triple kill and Hayfart at 1v1 Stormfallen in the top lane.
Yeah, very nicely done by Clueless. That was a good example of not overreacting to a push bot lane. Normally when people see that push, they try to send so many people down to take care of it. They left Hafe up there to defend that top point. Now, when they saw that only Hafe was up there, instead of sending the Rammus down bot, they should have sent him up top. That would have been the 2v1 onto the Brand. The taunt into the Ahri charm would have been plenty to kill him and take him down. And then they could have gotten that top point, gotten that quest, regained that map control for that good rotation that they initially had bot lane.
So right now we see Destro just... They don't really have anybody that wants to face tech until Gander gets there, so they're just blindly throwing skill shots, hoping they can fish and catch somebody.
Yeah,
we see Gander thinking about walking into the brush, but he doesn't want to, but we have Clueless being very, very aggressive. Parker's finally going to only get a one-man standard combo, but he's going to get a three-man Cataclysm. There's going to be a three-man Glacial Fission to follow it up. But will it be enough? We see Vi is going to get the dunk on the Dens Bruja. Cercio and everybody is going to go low everywhere in this team fight. Bibblepop is going to pick up Cercio at the end. Stormfallen is going to come around the side. And there are 3 members of Clueless and only 2 members of Destro. But the fight is going to be very, very close. Whiff Charm is going to mean Bibblepop lives. And it is going to be a 3-for-1 at the end of the day in favor of Clueless.
Yeah, Clueless is going to be able to walk away from that. Hafe did not have his ultimate for that fight, by the way. That was a brandless ult fight. Or brand ultless fight. If his ult were there and that 3-man Cataclysm went down, that team fight would have been very, very different and heavily in Clueless's favor, as opposed to almost winning it.
And we see Ro4 casually waiting in a very interesting spot to make sure nobody ganks him because he wants to take out the ganker before they come down. But then he realizes he gets baited by Parker and the rest of his team coming around slightly. When this entire fight breaks out, we have Nocturne out going down. They're going to opt to focus Parkhurst on the side. It looks like he is going to definitely go down. Cercio with the Cyclone going to try to chase off Ro4. He's not going to be able to get the kill. Hayfart is going to take out Dens Bruja, but Stormfall lands the charm on Hayfart, but it looks like it's going to be in vain as he did not have the ult to follow up on it, and he's just going to get run down for a double kill coming out from the Vi.
And now we have a Wukong trying to 2v1 the Jarvan, and the barrier coming out from Ro4. Very nicely done. He's going to try to walk away from this. Parker should be okay. He does have a Black Cleaver against this Nocturne, who only has the time at, and down he goes with a little help from Vi. Very nicely done.
There's just not enough damage coming out. 3 bruisers trying to walk into the CC coming from Sejuani. They're just slowly being kited around the entire team fight without being able to auto attack. As Parker's picking a fight I don't think he actually wants here. He's going to get jumped upon and go very, very low to Den's Bruiser and Stormfall, and is going to go down. Gander still wants a piece of this. He's going to go in. He's going to take the CC from Brand. He's going to fall, but will his team be able to capitalize on it? We see Glacial Fission coming out. We see Brand ult is going to come out, but only 1 target. 1 bounce, still fairly decent. Bopop still chasing down. Brown Bruiser's going to opt to splash and get his ultimate down the silent Stormfall, and they're going to push on to the mid.
Very wonderful Vi ult coming out right there. Able to just flash ult across. And then one of the few reasons why I think people are a little bit happier that Flash is around. Helps you solidify some of those really important kills, but they're actually not going to pressure this too much, so respawn timers were incredibly low. No revives being popped. So they are just going to back off, bye, get ready to fight.
So right now, everybody on Clueless is level 11, while everybody on Destro is around level 9. This is very, very important as Rig 2 ults come out, and they want the fight. There is a pause as Den's Bruiser gets initiated on in the brush.
The pause coming out, another good EQ coming in from Parker's, getting ready to rock that fight. I think he is mid-ultimate cast because his ultimate cooldown timer is blacked out. So I think it might be mid-cast right there, going in on that Pantheon.
All Destro needs is 1 really good fight, and they'll be able to catch up in levels. But it's going to be very hard to get against this Clueless team that is just being incredibly aggressive, catching them in their jungle before they're able to really get situated.
Yeah, let's see how this fight goes. Dens is going down. The ult does come out from Jarvan. He is going to get insta-nuke down. Gander, you are a Rammus, but you are very, very squishy there. And Wukong just trying to do some stuff in the back here, not getting too much done. Parkhurst and BB are going to chase onto the Ahri and take her down, and down goes the Wukong as well. And meanwhile, it looks like Wolfer's trying to go in on double lift. Is he going to be able to turn this around? The Equilibrium Strike is down, and Gander reviving to try and save the turret. I don't know if he can manage this. He built Sweeper first, which is leaving him very vulnerable.
But he is going to be able to bait. Tercio is going to come back up here, and they're going to clean up with Parkhurst. Wolfer in the bottom lane trying to fight Dens is going to manage to pick him up as Stormfallen comes down, looking like he has ultimate, but doesn't, just posturing a little bit, and they're going to make sure they get control of the bottom point.
Yeah, they're going to get that back. Very nicely done there. Nocturne did have to blow his revive, so he is down to 1. Wolfer is also at 1. By the time they get 14, they will get another one, however. So we'll see. Ooh, very nice Equilibrium Strike, and the crit coming out from the punch on Vi.
And Irelia, being that very terrifying champion that she is when on low health, she can just stop you from moving, and with the amount of damage that comes out from the flat pin Vi, just able to delete Ahri before she was able to get her second dash off.
That's very nicely done. And the stun, look at this kite. The Rammus wants to go in, but Brand just said no. You cannot go in.
No magic resist on that Rammus, and only health just means he just dies that much faster to Sejuani and Brand. And that's the very scary thing about building health items against these champions. You see Double Lift trying to get Brown Bruiser in the background, but he's just going to get punched to death. And everybody on Destro is slowly retreating up to the top point. They're going to see if they can get quest off of this, but everybody on Clueless is rotating. Stormfallen doesn't have ultimate. He's going to be initiated on by Bibapop, while Cercio's going to get a 2-man Cyclone on Hafe, blow Ignite, and see if he can get this kill. But he's going to go down. Hafe is going to single target all him. Stormfallen's going to get caught in the jungle. And meanwhile, Den's Bruiser does pick up the quest, but he is going to go down to a Parkhurst and Hafe.
Yeah, Rammus is coming up to try and get this point. It's 3 very low members, but he does not have his ultimate at the ready. If he did, he might be able to get something done there.
We can just see the items right now that Destro doesn't have in comparison to Clueless. You know, they have a giant spell on the Wukong, but the main build is done. We have the BFT is done on the Ahri, but the Void Staff is not completed yet, as we see Wolfer is going to blindside Cercio, and in 1 Equilibrium Strike, take him down to 25% HP. He's going to use Blade Surge and his ultimate, and he is going to be able to pick up that kill as Brown Bruiser is on the side, trying to stop Dens from going on a Wolfer, but he does anyway. The rest of Clueless is coming around the corner, so it looks like Double Lift is going to drop, and so is Dens, because the slows from Sejuani are just too strong.
And the Parkers is here too. Just a full-on Clueless party in the bot lane. The Nerd Train in full effect right now. Pantheon ulting in. Love that Dragon Slayer ult, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. This is a 4v2 that you just ulted into, my friend. Not the wisest of decisions.
And Hayparted made the rotation up the top lane. Oh, as we see Cersei come in with a Cyclone. Is going to at least pick up 1 kill here today, but that is all she's going to write for him.
And this is something newer Dominion teams have a very hard time dealing with or getting used to, is they keep trying to jump into these 1v3s and they don't think about the cooldowns that the opponents have that can stop them. They just go, oh, there's a bunch of low health targets, I've got this, you know, I can finish this off. Then they run into the Jarvan knockup, the, you know, Equilibrium strike, the Sejuani knockup, the Vi knockback, and there's so much stuff hitting them at once. And that was a beautiful ultimate by Havehearted to finish off the Ahri. He is going to go down to Rammus, but it looks like Sedge will be able to get up there in time.
And we see Ro4 again with his low health trying to get the Equilibrium strike on a double lift. If he got it, double lift would have certainly fallen, but it was a very, very nice time spell shield on his part. And we see Brown Bruiser blowing Assault and Battery on the Cersei, who is definitely going to go down here with the help of a Parker.
Baby Pop, as you said, that Rammus has no magic resist, and as per the normal Sedge build, getting that good CDR, getting a lot of good magic pen, and then going for your bulk. So,
and that's
very hard to deal with.
That is going to be all she wrote. Clueless is going to go up 2-0 over Destro. We see Stormfall in trying to pick up a kill on Ro4 at the end, but is Equilibrium strike going to be enough? Yes, it is. He's going to manage to pick up the kill on Ahri. But double lift's going to come out of the base, going to get the shutdown on Ro4 while there's 13 seconds left on the clock. Parker's wanting to be in the end screen.
Let's see if he can get there.
And everybody else hunting down double lift, trying to get revenge for their fallen comrade, and they are. That is going to be it. 2-0
GG to Clueless.
Destro.
Alright, so our finals match is going to be coming up next. Let's take a look at this endgame screen, however, before we go to our commercial break. And, you know, I really just think it comes down to the team comp. I think that's where Destro went wrong in this game.
3 melees into first pick Brand+Jarvan was definitely an interesting decision on their part.
Yeah, that is a very, very, very big thing there. You have to think, when you create that Dominion comp, you need to have that good balance of, we have champions who are good at poking, good at initiating, good at counter-initiating, you know, we have a good variation of front line or mid line or back line, and if you don't do that and you put too much into one area, a good team is going to be able to punish that very, very easily. And we will check out damage dealt really quick before we go, and that looks like a Vi dealing the most. Irelia coming in at second place there. Wuk4 doing a lot of work down in that bot lane. And it's looking pretty good. Alright, so we are going to go to a very quick commercial break. We'll be back with the finals game, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be Clueless versus Killing Dominion since 2011. The grudge match continues.